This is the Actors Fun group, part of it. We meet weekly, and Tracy thought of taking us to the museum. What museum? The Museum of the Moving Image is a media museum located in Astoria, Queens, in a former building of what is now the Kaufman Astoria Studios. The museum originally opened in 1988 as the American Museum of the Moving Image. Let's take a look. Benefiting anyone who takes an interest in the history and culture of the moving image. Today, the collection comprises approximately 130,000 artifacts. The rich and extensive collection is an invaluable resource for both the general public and for scholars. Tell me the history a little bit, please.
It was built in the time of the silent pictures, so it was utilizing the film stars from Broadway at the time. So this was considered like Paramount East, from what I understand. When the talkies came about, everything kind of shifted more towards Hollywood, and this place became a film studio and an army barracks, actually, for the military. So they were doing a lot of like war propaganda films or instructional videos and things like that. When I think the first film to film here again was The Wiz, and at that point in time they were trying to landmark the building, so that's also partially why there's a museum involved. You have the school across the street. That was all part of this complex at that time for the Army. But this is all four buildings put together as one. The oldest building is the one with the columns in the front when you walk in, and then I think we're probably in a newer section. But it's funny because it's all one big circle when you come down here. It is all four buildings connected somehow together, but I'm sorry, I don't know much more history.
No more than the docents at the Museum of the Moving Image.
Really?
It's a work group, they were like,
Do they do films here? Do they shoot here still?
They still do. Actually, the permanent, we have Sesame Street as a permanent tenant, Orange is the New Black films here, Shades of Blue is here. There is another production that's in residence currently. But
So you have production every week?
there's
technically.
actually, there's a film studio up above us that is Orange is the New Black. Up on the third floor is Sesame Street, but they have spaces throughout the building. Across the street, I think, is Shades of Blue, but they also use this studio here, or have been, but it could be something else now. I really don't know. Then, let's see, in the past, everything that you see along the walls has filmed here. So Birdman, Bourne Legacy, Men in Black 3, Smurfs movie. The big show that was here last year was that Neil Patrick Harris live event thing that filmed in the Studio K, which is the one that's across the street from this building. And they used the back lot a lot. I think that was a huge benefit to them. Let's see what else. Orange is the New Black has been here a long time. Alpha House was in here, which was an Amazon Prime show. The Affair, that's the other one. I think that's currently here. And so, I mean, there used to be a recording studio in this space, which just retired in the last 6 months.
I think I remember Nurse Jackie.
Well, thank you so
Nurse
much.
Jackie was here, that is correct. Man, it's been a lot.
That's good, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
This is Tracy from the Actors Fund, and she's directing this
All right,
trip.
so we're here at TDF's costume collection out at Kaufman Studios, and this is a real New York treasure. This is a place where theater companies from all over the country can rent costumes for their productions at a reasonable rate. And we're in special collections right now, which holds a great deal of costumes from the Metropolitan Opera and other companies here in the city and across the country that are donated, and these are the creme de la creme, the finest costumes in the costume collection. Of course, there are many lovely pieces throughout, and you can see the workmanship of folks over the decades, which is really terrific.
It used to be Manhattan, you say.
Yes, it used to be on 26th and 11th.
And what happened?
They got priced out of the neighborhood, like everybody else in Manhattan.
Who can rent this?
So primarily this collection was put together for nonprofit theaters, but recently has opened up to photo shoots, television and film productions, and other types of for-profit concerns. Well, things are loaned out all the time, so it changes and people make donations all the time. So if a show closes, most designers really want to see their stuff have another life, and so they'll call up the director here and arrange for the things to be here in the collection.
Thank you.
Museum's history as the Astoria Motion Picture and Television Center Foundation traces its history to 1970. The foundation took control of the former Astoria Studios in an effort to preserve the now landmarked building, which was home to a number of significant productions. The foundation's work was a success, revitalized the site and consumers' interest in the industry, and plans were made to expand the consumer access to the studio in the form of a museum. The core exhibition of the museum, Behind the Screen, is a one-of-a-kind experience that immerses visitors in the creative and technical process of producing, promoting, and presenting films, television shows, and digital entertainment. Occupying 15,000 square feet of the museum's second and third floors, the exhibition reveals the skills, material resources, and artistic decisions that go into making moving images. Behind the Screen also introduces visitors to the history of the moving image, from 19th century optical toys to the present day impact of digital tools on film editing and post-production. The Museum of the Moving Image houses artifacts from every stage of producing, promoting, and exhibiting motion pictures, television, and digital media. More than 130,000 objects in all. Holdings include licensed merchandise, technical apparatus, still photographs, production design materials, costumes, fan magazines, publicity materials, and video and computer games. The cataloging and digitalization of the museum's collection is made possible by the Institute of Museum and Library Services, the National Endowment for the Humanities, and the New York State Council on the Arts. The online catalog currently contains 6,941 silent film era and licensed merchandise entries. In March 2008, the museum broke ground for a $65 million expansion that doubled the museum's size and added a new theater and educational space. The exhibits include significant audio-visual components designed to promote an understanding of the history of the industry and an understanding of how it has evolved. Panel discussions about current movies are frequently held at the museum. In 2005, the museum was among 406 New York City arts and social service institutions to receive part of a $20 million grant from the Carnegie Corporation, which was made possible through a donation by New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg. Mae West stands behind the concession stand . The exhibition incorporates artifacts from the museum's collection of the material culture of the moving image. These include historic film and television cameras, projectors, television sets, sound recording equipment, costumes, set design sketches and models, makeup, fan magazines, posters, and an outstanding collection of licensed merchandise, plus dolls, toys, board games, lunch boxes, and more. The exhibition incorporates artifacts from the museum's collection of the material culture of the moving image. These include historic film and television cameras, projectors, television sets, sound recording equipment, costumes, set design sketches and models, makeup, fan magazines, posters, and an outstanding collection of licensed merchandise, plus dolls, toys, board games, lunch boxes, and more. The museum has also been a pioneer in collecting video arcade and console games, which are on exhibit and available for play by visitors. Recently acquired objects on view include makeup used on the stars of Sex and the City, a mechanical prop designed by Mike Marino for a climatic scene in Black Swan, and molds and prototypes produced during the creation of King Kong action figures.
The audience and seeing how to tell the story to the audience. That's because each group is different, and understanding what they're into, where the energy level is, and then kind of making those adjustments so they have a good time.
Tuts Fever is a working movie theater and art installation. The designers covered the walls, floors, and seats of the theater with hand-painted Egyptian-style depictions of Hollywood royalty.
Her face.
Is that the mummy?
Yes.
Elizabeth Taylor and many others graced the walls, and each slipcover chair in the theater features an image of Rita Hayworth.
I think it's important because I feel, we're surrounded by images, we're always surrounded by media, whether that be commercials, television, film, movies, animation, and I think sometimes we take it for granted that it takes a lot of work and a lot of creativity to put these things together. So when people come to this museum, they can see the tiny puzzle pieces that come together to create a world that we get lost in for like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours at a time.
Thank you so very much for this wonderful year. It's been a pleasure. It's been joyful. It's been a blessing. And we wish to thank Manhattan Neighborhood Network and all its staff for their help, for their assistance, for their sharing with our community. God bless.